We're into the third week of the Texas high school football season with heavyweight matchups all across the state. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks presented by Visit Arlington, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Into week 3 of the Texas high school football season we go. And remember, we're still dealing with only 4A and below so far. 6A and 5A teams did start practice this week, and so they are on track to start playing games in a couple of weeks, September 24th through 26th. But until then, we got an opportunity to shine a spotlight on the smaller schools. And there's huge small school games all across the state. We start in San Marcos. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at San Marcos' Rattler Stadium. It's a neutral site clash for 4A supremacy as the Corpus Christi Calallen Wildcats take on the La Vega Pirates. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, Calallen's running game against La Vega's linebackers. And this is the premier matchup in this game because these are two units that are just absolutely at the top of their game. For Calallen, Jeremiah Earls leads this wing T attack that is extremely hard to stop. Just ask Jourdanton last week as they ran wild all over the Indians. Meanwhile, going up against La Vega, whose defense is not only great, but their linebackers specifically are excellent with linebacker DeMarquise Hayes and Jordan Rogers. This is the strength-on-strength matchup here. Calallen loves to run the ball, and La Vega loves to hit. So, what happens when those two meet? Key number 2, wake-up call. And this goes out to the La Vega offense. So La Vega's always been a defense-first team, whether it's under Coach Don Hyde or his predecessor, Willie Williams. They pride themselves on defense, but the offense usually pretty good as well. First couple of games, though, both wins, but offense kind of scuffled a little bit. And now it make it even more interesting as quarterback Era Rawls is apparently out for this and some more upcoming games. That's going to put a lot more pressure on the running game with Jesse Major-Sterling and Jarquay Walton. Can they carry the load? Can this offense get going? Because if Calallen's going to score, La Vega's got to score too. So, can the La Vega offense wake up? And key number 3, nice to meet you. In this very strange 2020 season, this is pretty much as on brand as Texas high school football can get, because of the way that this game came together. You know, La Vega was just kind of searching for anybody to play. Calallen, kind of the same way. And then they just decided to meet up on a neutral site. And this is a really interesting matchup because, as far as I can tell, they've never seen one another. These are two programs that have been around a long time, and yet they've never met on a football field. This is the first time that these two teams will see one another, and in a lot of ways, it's going to be a stylistic clash. You've got a lot of big-time athletes with a lot of speed on the La Vega side going up against this grinding wing T offense against Calallen. Familiarity breeds contempt. There is no familiarity between these two teams. So when they see each other on the field for the first time, what happens? Who am I picking? I'm going with La Vega. I think that the defense is going to continue to be one of the very best in Class 4A, if not the entire state, and that front seven is just ferocious. I think they actually match up pretty well against this Calallen offense. Even though they run the wing T, La Vega has seen the wing T before, and they've stopped it. So that's an advantage, I think, for La Vega. Now, of course, they've got to get the offense going, and Calallen's defense has been pretty good. Last week against Jourdanton, they got lit up a little bit, but their defense has been pretty good. I think this has a chance to be a really close matchup, but in the end, I think that this comes down to the La Vega running game. I think Jarquay Walton and Jesse Major-Sterling are able to get enough done. I think this game is close, and I think it's extremely physical, but I think La Vega comes away with a win. Let's go to 2A, 7 p.m. Friday night at Panther Stadium in Panhandle. It's a big-time small school matchup as the Vega Longhorns take on the Panhandle Panthers. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, the freight train and the wall. The freight train in this instance is the Panhandle offense, which has been ridiculous. 57 points per game through their first 2 contests. That ranks 7th among all 11-man teams that have played 2 games so far. Quarterback Landon Hack has been outrageous, and he has a big variety of weapons around him. Going up against the wall, which is the Vega defense. Here is a complete list of 11-man UIL teams that have pitched 2 shutouts this year. Ready? It's SNS Consolidated, Bangs, and Vega. That's it. There's 4 teams that have pitched 2 shutouts. The Vega defense has been fantastic with their linebacker Brady Tyman leading the way. And so this is the immovable object against the unstoppable force. What happens when the freight train meets the wall? Key number 2, Vega's quarterback play. Quarterback Ryan Grawunder has taken over this Vega offense, and he has been very, very sharp. Last week against Boys Ranch, he rang up 250 yards total offense and 5 total touchdowns. But this is a big test for the junior. It's only going to be his 3rd start of his career, and furthermore, he's going on the road to a hostile environment. This is a big test for him. Can Ryan Grawunder come up big in a big moment? And key number 3, statement game. I don't want to overstate things, but I do think that this non-district matchup is an opportunity for both teams to send a message to their regional bunkmates. For Panhandle, they reside in 2A Division I, Region 1. That's where Post is. Of course, they played for a title last year. Cisco, San Saba. I think a win here could make Panhandle a contender in 2A Division I, Region 1. And then you have Vega. Vega's in 2A Division II, Region 1, and there it's kind of wide open. Wellington is probably the favorite right now, but Wink is there. Stratford looms as well. Clarendon, I think, is a sleeper in that region. If Vega can win this game, especially on the road against a bigger team, I think they would announce their arrival as a big-time contender in 2A Division II, Region 1. So, in this non-district matchup, who can make a statement? Who am I picking? I'm going with Panhandle. I think this game is close, and I'm really interested to see what happens when Landon Hack takes aim at this lights-out Vega defense. But I think being at home is going to help, and furthermore, remember, Vega is punching up a weight class. This is 2A Division II Vega against 2A Division I Panhandle. I wonder if that depth advantage for the Panthers is going to pay dividends down the road. Now, I do think that this game has a chance to be very close, especially if the Vega offense can continue what it's been doing through the first 2 games. But for now, I'm going with the explosive offense of Panhandle. Give me the Panthers. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Eagle Stadium in Lexington. Big-time matchup between the Lexington Eagles and the Rockdale Tigers, and you have an established superstar going up against what may be a budding superstar. The established superstar here is Lexington running back Jared Kerr. This guy's awesome, and it's really fun to watch this Lexington team decide to just kind of make the entire plane out of Jared Kerr. Like, why not just feed him the rock? He's the best player on the field. Let him do his thing, and he has been fantastic through their first 2 games. Going up against Rockdale and new quarterback Kobe Mitchell, who was sensational last week in his debut. He was absolutely lights out, everything you want from a quarterback. And by the way, Rockdale has a history of putting out great quarterbacks. I think this game is close. I think it has a chance to be really, really fun. But in the end, I think Rockdale comes away with a very narrow win. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Don Meredith Stadium in Mount Vernon. It is a 3A clash between the Paul Pewitt Brahmas and the Mount Vernon Tigers. And this is a really interesting stylistic clash. You know, Mount Vernon looked awful good in their game last week. It was weather shortened, but they put a hurtin' to Pittsburgh. Quarterback Brock Neller leads this wide open spread offense. He has been fantastic so far going up against Paul Pewitt and that slot T attack. And they have been really, really sound so far. Kadrian Johnson leads a grinding running attack that I think in many ways is designed to beat teams like Mount Vernon. This is a team that likes to play keep away. They're going to control the time of possession, control the line of scrimmage. That's what they want to do. Shorten the game, shorten the number of possessions that this explosive Mount Vernon attack is going to have. I think this game's really interesting, and the stylistic clash has me very intrigued. I think Paul Pewitt, though, comes away with a very close win. But those are far from the only big games in Week 3 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. Really interested in this one. I like Windthorst over Archer City. Surprise matchup of unbeatens. I like Comfort to edge Marion, and give me Dangerfield out east to beat Sabine. I like East Chambers over Hampshire Finette. Franklin bounces back with a win over Cameron Yo, and keep an eye on this one. I like El Campo just barely over Port Lavaca Calhoun. Maybe the best game in the state this week. I like Hamlin over Albany. Give me Fredericksburg over Gonzales, and I think Lampasas gets by Wimberley. Melissa squeaks by Pottsboro, and Groveton beats Joaquin. Pleasant Grove bounces back with a win over Paris. Schulenburg stays hot with a win over Yorktown, and I like the Armadillos of San Saba over the Punchers of Mason. I'm going with white-hot offenses this week. I like Tyler Chapel Hill over Terrell. Give me Sundown to stay hot with a win over Abernathy, and Wink beats Alpine. Wichita Falls City View beats Seymour. I like Center to keep the momentum with a win over Gladewater. And in our six-man game of the week, give me Rankin over Borden County. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/DaveCampbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/DaveCampbells. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 3 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.